So I'm here tonight to present Matt and Ross Duffer with the Visionary Tribute. And but it got me thinking in the lead up to tonight visionary, this is a big word. And a lot of people have vision, just like a lot of people have dreams and imagination. But it's the ability to manifest what you can imagine that is incredibly rare. And that really is what elevates vision to visionary. And that is sort of the superpower of Matt and Ross Duffer, which I've seen up close as a friend and collaborator over our 10 years making Stranger Things together. I remember early on, and some people in this room were there early on, I was directing a scene in maybe season 1 or season 2. And Matt and Ross were in LA writing the back half of the season. And I'm directing a scene with like Steve Harrington and Jonathan and Nancy. And I called the brothers and I explained to them that I'm directing a scene in a car in the parking lot outside our Hawkins High School. And they said to me, oh, well, that's appropriate because that's where we spent much of our own high school years. And I was like, what does that mean? And they shared that in fact, no, they didn't often eat lunch in a cafeteria with the other students. They would often eat lunch in their car with each other in the parking lot outside their high school. And I share this story because I think, and I could be wrong, but I think it speaks further to the visionary thing. The same way that vision requires tenacity to become something visionary, I think a lot of us in this room might know this to be true, that creativity requires some of the painful feelings that some can convert into inspiration and also into drive and also into work ethic and into, in the Duffers' case, an obsessive attention for all the details that combine to make something of greatness. When the Duffers envisioned Hawkins, Indiana, when they created Stranger Things, they were funneling all those formative experiences, all of those feelings, and yeah, all of those bruises that life leaves on all of us. And they created a series that is about many things, but is also an anthem to the part of us that feels like outcasts. Even in a room like this, that part of us that feels somehow apart or different. And that show is connected with hundreds of millions of people around the world. So while the show gets a lot of ink and a lot of clicks and a lot of attention for the 80s and the monsters and the upside down, and the sheer success of this Stranger Things franchise, that's impressive, but I can tell you, as one of the people who've worked and walked every inch of that Stranger Things road with the boys, it started with and it thrives on their heart as much as their vision. The humanity that's etched into all the characters that Matt and Ross created, that remains the bedrock underneath the spectacle. And it's one of the quieter magic tricks that the Duffers have pulled off. And that they've accomplished this thanks to their other superpower, which again, many of us in this room know. It's the work. It's the soul and life-consuming work that it takes for a decade, in their case, to convert vision into something visionaries. They did this as writers, they did this as directors, they did this as producers, and they did it with a stubbornness and a clarity of vision that was inspiring to me personally. So they cared about all of it, whether it was the scripted sound, and yes, they write, I see David Kelly here, so I don't know if this is how you write, sir, but they write the sound of a door closing because that's how specifically they hear it. They obsess over the sharpness of an edit or the pace of a dolly move or the one blink that an actor might do in one take that takes a good take and turns it into something unforgettable. Matt and Ross Duffer, they cared for all of it with pride and with love because that is what it takes to convert vision into the visionary. You see, I'm sort of doing this callback thing, guys. Okay, thank you. I was like, is it too repetitive? But I feel like the repetition, I'm just committing to it. So look, clearly the Duffers have a lot more options for their meals and their lunch spots than the front seat of their own car. But I would wager that that car seat cafeteria is here in this room tonight. And that car seat cafeteria and what it built in them will be with them always. as they look forward to the visionary worlds and characters that they create next.
Thank you. And thank you, Gotham Awards. Thank you. This is an insane honor. We've been calling ourselves visionaries for years, so it's nice to hear someone else finally say it. And thank you, Shawn. Thank you for those kind words. And telling all the cool kids here what losers we were in high school really helps with our deep-rooted insecurity, so appreciate it. But seriously, we wouldn't be standing here without you if you hadn't taken a big bet on us 10 years ago. And maybe that bet seems obvious now, but at the time, it was anything but. I can't really emphasize what a crazy risk Stranger Things was, how little sense it made on paper. You know, all we had is one movie, which Warner Brothers disliked so much they wouldn't release it, and a weird 50-page script starring kids, but not for kids. No one wanted to touch it. But then it fell in the hands of a bright-eyed exec by the name of Matt Thinnell, who's here tonight. He had just started working at Netflix 2 weeks earlier. He read it, he loved it. He gave it to Cindy Holland, who's also here tonight, gave it to Ted, and they greenlit a full season the next week. But what's amazing is that all these people weren't just betting on idea or a script, they were betting on us. They let us show run, even though we never show run before. They let us direct, even though we never directed TV before. They let us cast whoever we believed in, including David Harbour, who's here tonight as well. They never once hovered over our shoulders or asked us to sand off the weird edges.
Did we know what we were doing? Not really. But that level of trust gave us the confidence and the courage to step up. And it didn't hurt, of course, that we had the best cast and crew that anyone could ask for. And we know how lucky we were. The experience we had is so very rare in this industry. And in this age of endless data and algorithms, it feels rarer than ever, which really worries us. But, you know, we're also encouraged by what audiences are responding to right now across TV and film. I feel young people are telling us very loudly that they're hungry for original stories. Unfiltered personal visions that haven't been mangled by 1,000 paper cuts. So, yeah. So I say this to anyone in the room with any level of power: let's choose risk over fear. Let's do everything we can to help new voices make bold personal stories, and then let's stay out of their way. So, first of all, I would say it's less work for you. And second, it's gonna make you a lot of money. But most importantly, it'll result in cooler shit. Anyway, thank you so much for this award. After 10 years, it really means a lot to us. Thank you.